take a look at this, I think we all know where the inspiration has come from for this new truck. So this is the new Hospeed 18431, and I think we can all see it does look like a mini ARRMA Fireteam. Now I've seen and heard good things about this little truck, so I really hope it performs. Now this isn't the first time I featured a Hospeed product here on my channel. A little while back I actually featured a very similar truck. I think it was the same scale as well. Now I can't remember the model number, I will stick it on the screen now, but one of the biggest issues that little truck had was those friction shocks. So it's really good to see that this thing has now got proper oil-filled adjustable shocks. So we'll take a look at what you get in the box, we'll then have a closer look at the truck itself and talk about some of its features, and then we'll do a 2S speed run, followed by an off-road test. So this is the box then, just look at the state of this. This is how it turned up to my door, but thankfully the truck is okay. So in the box, obviously we've got the truck itself, and Banggood have sent me the green version, but you can also get this in red. This is the transmitter. Now these things are quite nice. We've got a nice foam grip on the wheel. We've got a couple of different settings. We've got our steering trim, our steering dual rate, and our speed switch. And again, this isn't the first time I've seen this transmitter. It always seems to perform well. You will need 3 AA batteries to get you up and running. We've got a black and white manual, and I think this has been taken from one of the other models. As you can see there, that is a different picture. Now we don't get any exploded diagrams for this one, but we do get all the parts listed at the back. So battery wise, we've got a 1500 milliamp hour lithium ion. Finally, let's take a look at the parts bag then. Now we've got a screwdriver, a USB charger, there's a cross wrench in there, and there is some spare body clips as well, and that is about it. Back to the truck then. Now I think it's very clear Hospeed got all of their inspiration from the ARRMA Fireteam, and that's not a bad thing because I think it looks really, really cool. So let's have a look at some of the chassis features then. Now we've got a flexible front bumper. We've also got LED lights on the front bumper and an LED light bar on the roof. A flexible rear bumper. Now this thing has got a roll cage, and we've also got 2 drivers in there. Just take a look at those guys. They look really cool. Right then, let's get the body off and take a closer look underneath, because this chassis does look like it's got lots of nice features. So let's do that now. So we've got the body off, let's take a closer look at the chassis then. Now we'll start with the electronics. We've got a 4000 kV brushless motor, a 50 amp 2-in-1 ESC and receiver. Finally down there we've got a 1.5 kilogram free wire servo. Now that might not sound like a lot, but on a truck this small, that should get the job done fine. Just look at the wheel and tyre design on this little truck. They look exactly like the ARRMA Fireteam. So we've got metal oil-filled shocks front and rear, and they do feel really good. Now I thought this had CVD drive shafts at the front, but it doesn't. It's just got normal dog bones. And again, the same on the rear. Now this thing's also got a metal centre drive shaft, metal front and rear diffs, and it's also got ball bearings throughout, but I can't show you any of that because it's covered in plastic. So we've got a plastic chassis with like a metal skid plate at the front. This is where the battery goes, and I'll show you that now. Now this is really cool to see actually. This is the battery tray at the bottom of the truck, and it's secured by a clip there. All we need to do is twist it, just like that. Now on the previous model that I featured, you see there, that used to be a screw hole. You used to have to undo a screw and replace it every single time you wanted to change battery. And at the time, I also found that to be a terrible way of doing things. So I'm really glad they've got this new system in place. So that's pretty much all there is to see. Let's get the body back on, let's get a battery in there, and let's see how fast it goes on the included battery. Now they're saying this thing will do 52 kilometers per hour, which I think is about 31 miles per hour. Well, let's find out. Now I'm just in a very small car park, but because this is a small truck, we should still be able to reach top speed. That's full throttle. Now it does feel quick, but are we going to see that 30 mile per hour top speed? I don't think we are. I think we're going to see mid-20s. Full throttle. Right, let's bring it back. Let's see what we got. Right, so let's hit read. So we've got 22. Now that's quite a bit slower than advertised, but it's still not bad considering the size of this truck. So 22 on road, yeah, not too bad. But how is this going to perform off road? Well, we're going to find out in a moment, but have a look at those LED lights first. A nice little addition to this truck, and they're also nice and bright. So first test of this little Hospeed then. Now I can tell you straight away those shocks feel really nice. It's not bouncy at all. And where this little truck is so light, it just absorbs all the little impacts. Those oil shocks are a great little addition to this chassis. And they were one of the biggest issues I had with the previous model that I featured. It was just so bouncy. But this feels really good. Now this thing is priced at £93 at the moment, which is over $100. Now that is quite a bit of money for a 1/18 scale car. And we do have to remember there are a lot of options out there now in this price range. We've got the MJX stuff, we've also got the Hibox in 16889A. That thing is a legend. I think one of the biggest reasons why you might buy one of these is for the styling, because it does look a lot like the Fireteam, just a miniature version. But if you were looking for something a little bit more versatile, something a little bit more usable and quicker, you may consider the MJX or the Hibox in. But yeah, overall a fun little truck, handles well, is fairly cheap, the shocks feel good as well. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with this, but just keep your options open. So that's full throttle, it handles the bumps really well, way better than the friction shocks would have. It just seems to stick to the ground. Very impressive actually, very impressive. So there we go then guys, brand new from Hospeed. What a fun little truck. Now yes, this thing looks like a mini ARRMA Fireteam, but that's pretty much where it stops. I mean, come on, look, this is a miniature version. It's not going to perform like the real thing, but it certainly looks good. Now, I have been saying this quite a bit lately, but we have to remember the cheap RC market is incredibly flooded now. There are so many options out there, and it does make it quite difficult to know what to go for. Now, in this price range, £93, I'll stick the dollar conversion on the screen as well. There are a lot of options you could go for. I mean, MJX are doing some great stuff at the moment. Their buggies and their truggies are really cool. They're also really fast and they perform well. And because they're a bit bigger, they're also a little bit more versatile. And that's pretty much the same for the Hibox stuff as well. The 16889A Pro Brushless, well, that thing is a legend. Everybody loves it because it's cheap, it's durable, it's quick, and it's one of the best cheap RC cars you can currently buy. Well, look, it does perform really well, but is it worth that £93 price tag? Well, I think it could do with being a little bit cheaper, and then it would become more competitive. Now, if they could price this thing a little bit lower, maybe £70–75, I think it would certainly be a better option. Now, what I think you're really paying for is the body shell, because it does look incredible. I think it's one of the coolest little RC cars I've featured on my channel so far. Now look, when I do these reviews here on my channel, there are so many considerations that I have to take into account. I can't just say a car is good because it looks good, but it also has to perform. And yes, even though this thing did perform in this price range, well, there are certainly faster options out there. So if you're looking for fast and cheap, I don't think this is the option for you. But if you're looking for something cheap and cool, and something a little bit different which you may not see every day, well, I think this may be the truck for you. So we're going to leave the video there today. I really hope you enjoyed seeing this little car in action, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I want to try and get to 30,000 subscribers before the end of the year, so let's try and make that happen. Cheers for watching, see you on the next one. Take care. Now, if you enjoyed today's video but you're looking for something a bit different, well, click one of these videos now and check out some of these really cool cars.